Hello and welcome to today's video. I am so excited for today's video topic, and we have a guest star today. Look who it is! It's Zara! Hi Zara! Hi girl! Hi! She's so cute and tiny. Okay, now you get to hear my cat talk. My cat baby talk. Hi Zara! Hi you tiny! I speak to her in Arabic sometimes too. She is such a cutie. So she's going to be joining us today. But for today's video, it is about being playful. If you have been feeling stuck, and if you feel like, okay, Zara's like, I'm outie, I'm gonna go play, I'm gonna go do my own thing. If you have been feeling like life is lacking meaning, that it's actually not feeling fun to get up every day and it's starting to actually feel like a chore, this video is for you, especially if you are an older daughter, an older sister, a type A person. This video is going to be for you, because I literally just went to see a movie, and it was a kids movie, and it was about cats, and the commercial literally came on TV for that so many times up to the date when it was being released, which is today. And I had no idea what the movie was going to be about, aside from the fact that it just had cats in it. And anyone who knows me knows I love cats. Like, I am obsessed with cats. I'm probably gonna be like an older cat lady, even though I have a fiance, like whatever they call the crazy cat lady, that's me. And I was just like, you know what? I have no idea what this movie is about. It was like half cartoon, half real life. And it just had cats. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see it. And so I went to see it, and little did I know that it was literally about the message, the exact message that I am trying to embody, and that I also needed confirmation about and needed to hear. I don't think I mentioned what the movie was, but it is called Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. And I didn't even realize that this was already a kids show and they made a movie about it. But essentially the idea of the movie, hopefully this is not a spoiler if you plan to go see it, but the idea of the movie is it's really just about play and how adults have lost the art of learning how to play. And we grow up, we become adults, and we are told to get practical, to get realistic, and we really lose our sense of imagination. We lose our sense of play, because we may express things that we wanted to do, and maybe those things were criticized. Maybe we were just told to pick something else that will make us more money, that is more practical, and we're told to follow like a specific narrow path. But what tends to happen when you don't follow your intuition and you don't follow what excites your soul and lights you on fire with excitement, then you literally start to feel dead inside. You literally start to feel like life is lacking meaning and it is no longer exciting, and doing adult things and just getting by just for survival feels so draining. Like, if you're just literally going to a job just to pay the bills and your soul is not lit up by that, that is why you are feeling so drained and so stuck in life. It's not because you're not doing enough. It's not because you're not motivated enough. It is most likely because you are not doing something that excites you. Because oftentimes what I've noticed for myself is when I am doing something that excites me, that is playful, that is still also uncomfortable and is helping me grow, but is still the thing that excites me, that brings out so many newer versions of myself, and it feels so energizing. And because I am doing something that feels good for me and it is aligned with my soul, the energy I get from that excitement of doing something I love, like creating these videos, like doing the coaching with my clients. Like, I literally finished a coaching call with one of my clients today, and I just felt so happy, so excited, so energized. And I was like, yeah, this is what I am meant to be doing. Like, it literally re-energizes and refuels me. Whereas when I had a job in the past that was just kind of for paying the bills and saving money, and it wasn't aligned with my soul, I felt so drained, and I actually didn't feel like I was contributing anything, because it didn't feel like it was what my soul wanted to contribute. because I believe we get to make meaning out of our lives, and we can contribute to anything. We can make meaning out of anything. But what is the direction that our soul really wants to go in? I think that's where that gets exciting, and you get re-energized by following your own intuition, by following in your own path and staying in your own lane, even if it doesn't make logical sense to other people. We are oftentimes told to be logical and to be practical, but what if that is the thing that is draining your soul? Literally stop using your brain and start using that inner child magic that we all have. Start using your imagination. And I know I just said to stop using your brain, and your imagination is associated with your brain, but I am telling you to turn off the other side of your brain that is literally trying to think through every single thing in such a logical way. Because oftentimes when we have experienced trauma, we then start to want to control everything. We want to control our environment, we want to control our thoughts, we want to control our emotions, we want to control our partners. We really just want to control everything because then we can't get hurt again. So then we go down this rabbit hole of thinking of things in a very logical and rational way, continue to put so much of our energy in the doubt, in the fears, instead of putting our energy and focusing it on having faith, on imagining what our life could possibly look like, spending our focus and energy on building the life that we actually want, on showing up as the person we see as our higher self. We spend so much energy in doubt and in fears, trying to control everything, trying to be logical, trying to be practical, because that is what we were told to do. But what if I told you that that is the thing that is holding you back? If you are a type A person and you are an older sister and you were the responsible one and you were the independent one and you were the one who had to keep it all together, who literally shoved all of your emotions down to stay afloat and to keep everybody together, if you resonate with any of those things and you try to keep yourself together all the time, you try to control every little thing, you can't show certain emotions in front of some people, you can only show up in a certain way, you can't laugh, you can't be sexy, you can't show up in a specific way because you have to control everything and you have to control the image that people see of you, that is freaking exhausting. Let me tell you, that is freaking exhausting. If you go about your life trying to control every single aspect, that is really just coming from your ego trying to protect you. That is coming from the part of you that has gone through hurt in the past and is now trying to keep you safe by doing all of these things. But the reality is that you can't control other people's thoughts. You can't control what other people think of you. You can't control external circumstances. All you can really control is your state and how you show up as a human being. All you can really control is you. And so why not have fun in that process? Why not start to turn your imagination back on? Why not start to be, I'm sure you've seen this on the internet, be delusional. Why not start being delusional? Why not you? Why can't it happen to you? Because I would have never started this YouTube channel. I would have never pursued studying somatics. I would have never pursued so many other things that my intuition was literally pulling me towards. And I felt like, is that really the right decision? It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. I didn't finish the degree in the most logical way that made sense to other people because I wasn't learning enough of the things that I wanted to learn and I wasn't having the education that I wanted to have. Is it logical to create my own education? Is it logical to get certification in the things that I'm actually interested in? I had so many doubts and so many fears. And if I let those things stop me, I would not be here today helping so many people. If I let those thoughts stop me, you wouldn't be hearing me speak today. If I let those thoughts stop me, I honestly feel like I wouldn't have had as much accountability in my relationship. If I let fears and doubts control me and control how I show up as a person, and I let logic take the wheel instead of actually choosing to believe in myself and to believe in my intuition and believe in the direction I was being led in. I feel like the synchronicities literally re-energize me. When I see the synchronicity and I realize, oh my God, you are literally leading me in this direction for that reason. I had no idea. You put me in that coaching container, in that coaching group for that reason. That's what you wanted me to get out of it? Oh my gosh. Sorry, I had to, oops, my phone is gonna die. Okay, let me try to finish this video. But I just want you to know that when you start being playful, doing things outside of your normal routine, maybe starting to dance, maybe you start to color in a coloring book, maybe you go see a kids movie, maybe you sing your heart out in karaoke, maybe you start reading a romance fantasy novel instead of always reading personal development. Literally just doing something to enjoy life, to relax, because all of this and play literally helps your nervous system become regulated. It's not just about sitting there, journaling, meditating, doing all the inner work, reading the books, listening to the podcast, but actually allowing yourself to have fun and play with life helps you regulate your nervous system, and it ignites your life force energy, which is your creative energy as a woman. I literally went to see the movie and I got the idea for a video. And I'm like, I could not even stop typing. And so many more ideas came through that. And just by me going to see a movie, and I felt silly walking in. It was literally a bunch of parents with their kids, and I'm just like the one adult. I almost felt embarrassed, but then I was like, why am I embarrassed? I have an inner child. Like, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this movie. And that was literally one thing that helped me get out of my comfort zone. I started doing this thing where I do one thing that makes me uncomfortable every day, and today that thing was it. I've started to literally just see it as I am expanding my capacity. I'm gonna look silly, maybe. I don't think anyone is even thinking that, but if I feel silly doing it and it makes me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to do it even more. Not in a way where it's like dysregulated and I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I can't do it. I'm never doing this again. But literally play allows you to do these kinds of things without getting overwhelmed. It's like you are stepping into a new identity. You are stepping into a new version of yourself. When you allow your inner child to play, it's like re-energizing your soul. It's like the fuel for your soul and for your inner child. But when your inner child literally says, oh, that would be so fun, and you literally just shut it down immediately and you're like, no, we don't do that. That's for kids. And you're not allowing yourself to play in life, then how can you actually be creative? How can you allow your imagination to come to life? Kids literally have the biggest imagination ever because they are always playing and they're always curious. They don't think that, oh, I have all the answers to life. I figured it all out. I am perfect, which is oftentimes what we think is like, oh, we figured it. We all pretend like we figured life out. We have all the answers. We no longer need to be curious about life. And who cares about imagination? Let's just focus on this 5-step plan, 5-year plan, and we'll just go from there and everything will work itself out and we'll just kind of control the process as we go. But like, don't you lose the magic in life from trying to control everything when you do that? I know for me that when I was going down that route, it didn't feel good for my soul. I felt dead inside. And I was like, I don't care what anyone else says. I am just going to follow, even if it feels so painful and is so uncomfortable, going down this path and allowing myself to grow, even though other people around me are telling me to do otherwise, even though other people around me are telling me to be logical and to only pick the jobs that are going to make me a certain amount of money. I was like, no, like I'm going to follow what my intuition is telling me to follow. I'm going to follow what excites me. And here I am today sharing this information with you. And this is what excites me, working with you, sharing this information with you. And the more I do this and express myself and allow myself to be expressed in different ways, the more energy I have, the more energized and childlike I become. I don't become childish. I think Jay Shetty used to say this about his wife, and I thought it was such a unique distinction, is that He says that she is not childish, but she is has this childlike energy about her. And that is literally like my goal in life, because I grew up being so serious, so rigid, so shut down. I didn't allow people to see my emotions. And now I'm learning how to be more playful, how to allow people to see that side of me, how to allow her to play and come out and to just be expressed. The interesting thing is that relaxing now and playing becomes your inner work. I feel like when you grow up as a type A person and you had to be responsible and practical and do all of these things and follow a certain path, now relaxing and playing become your inner work. Your inner work doesn't have to be in a journal, it doesn't have to be in a meditation, it doesn't have to be in a course. It literally becomes learning to play with life, learning to relax. So your homework for today is going to be to ask your inner child what it wants to play with. And if you want, actually, you can journal on this. But maybe just listening to your body and sitting and asking that part of yourself, your inner child, how do you want to play today? What is it that you would want to do? And maybe it's even like going to Target or Walmart or whatever you have near you and going to the toy section, or even going to Dollar Tree if you're on a budget. Like, go any way where you can go and let your inner child just explore and pick something, maybe a toy that you were never allowed to have. I know for me, like, I didn't have very many toys growing up. Not that I didn't get to play as a child with my siblings and with my cousins. In fact, I actually had a really good childhood being outdoors and kind of playing around with my siblings. But there were times where I just felt like I wasn't allowed to have certain things because my mom was a single mom and we only had so little, and it was mostly for survival. And so now I actually get to give those things to myself. And I'm gonna invite you, like, if there was a toy that you were thinking about that you wanted to play with and you just never got to have, buy that toy and just play with it now. It's going to make your inner child so happy, and it is probably going to ignite something in you that you didn't even know existed or that you didn't expect to come alive. And you know, when you see on TikTok or the internet in general about like romanticizing your life, I feel like play plays such a big role in romanticizing your life. When you start to play with life and romanticize life, it no longer feels a chore. And if you are a type A or you're the older daughter and the older sister, you most likely didn't get to play and you didn't get to romanticize life. You literally just stepped into life, took responsibility, most likely at a very, very young age. Like, you didn't even get to have a childhood. And so when you start to now romanticize your life, it just becomes more interesting and it no longer becomes a chore, which I know that for most people, life feels like a chore, especially when you've had trauma, especially when you are stuck in survival mode, especially when you don't even get to do what lights your soul on fire and what excites you. Life starts to lose meaning and it starts to feel like a chore. And I want more than that for you. Because when you start feeling like life is a chore, how do you think that impacts your relationship? When you start treating your partner as a chore and it's like you don't even allow yourself to have fun with your partner and everything is so serious and all the conversations are serious, and it's like men actually come to women to let their guard down, to have fun, to see life in their eyes. Because men are not as connected to their emotions. They are not as connected to even, I don't think it's even very accepted of men to be as playful. And so because they are not so connected with that part of them, because they have such a heavy burden on their shoulders, they oftentimes come to their women to have fun, to live life, to see life from their eyes, that romanticized life, that playful life. This is not just for your man, but this is just a bonus, because you having fun impacts every area of your life. It impacts how you show up at work, it impacts how you show up in your business, it impacts how you show up in your relationships. literally everywhere in your life. So why not romanticize your life and make it fun to be here? Make it a game to be here. It doesn't have to be that serious. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here. If you want to go deeper in this level of inner work and you want to learn how to embody this sense of playfulness, and you want to learn how to let go of the control that life has on you, and you want to learn how to actually show up in love and receive love in your relationship instead of pushing it aside or pushing your partner away, and you allow the things that you are craving to actually be felt by you, book a call down below. I will leave the link to a somatic session down below. And again, thank you for being in this video. I am so happy that you are here. I am so proud of you for how far you have come, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.